Hello and welcome to another video from In3D Software. Today I want to show you how we can use Article Designer within iX23 to create a bespoke piece of parametric furniture, in this case a freestanding chest of drawers. And what I'm going to do is create a parametric top that we can control with variables. We'll alter materials, drawbox styles, drawbox construction, and we'll go through a couple of other nice little details as well. Stick around, this is going to be an interesting video, and if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. So, first thing that I want to do is generate a top. So I'm going to draw with articles, with a polyline, the top for the article designer element. So I'm going to draw a line in here at 800, and that's going to be the front of my top. And then I need an arc with a center at 30, and then a line 400, and this is going to be then 860, 400, and then an arc that's closed. So now that I've got my shape, I can then go to the contour wizard, go to outline geometry, select the contour in CAD, give it a name, select the part, and then right click to confirm. Then what I want to do is lock in some of these dimensions, so I'll say that these should all be absolute. That way they're not going to stretch relative to the overall dimension when we change the size of our piece of furniture. So now that these are locked, the next thing that I want to do is actually drive these dimensions with a variable. So I'll go up to the top, go to the variables by right clicking, and under the construction create a new variable in here called chest top rad, and set that to be 30. I can then apply this, and then what I want to do is copy that and paste it everywhere that there's a 30 to begin with. And then if we click save, if I then change the overall size of this to be, let's say, 600, you can see that the top shape doesn't stretch proportionately. So what I need to do is go to this line here and say that this should be a linear division, and it should be 1 to chest top millimeter. And then what that will do is it will then stop this at my radius. Then what I want to do is go around to my other sections in here and say that these should again be linear divisions, but this time 1 to 0 and 1 to 0 to make sure that they are locked to the overall outer points. I'll then do another linear division, and again we can then just paste in our variable to then create that position. In this case this should be 0 actually, and then in here we have 1 to 0. It's this line here that needs to use the variable, so we'll just put that in here. And that means now that this should change parametrically. So let's change our overall size to be 800 by 300, and this looks good. Once we've got our outline geometry, we can then go to the Start and Element Manager, and then go to our parts. So if we go to a part definition, in this case we're going to use it within the top, so I'll go to Getting Started, Top, Geometry, and then save over this one here. What I'll do is call this one that is edged on all 6 edges, chest. I'll just go on top. I'll apply the geometry. And then in here what I want to do is add in the separate profile 2 variable to all of these edges. I'll state that these should all be mitered for now. You'll see why in a second. And then in here miter. And then what I want to do is run this one through long and long here. I'll click on the lines as well, because what this will do is change this to be indicated that this should be edged before it's surfaced in here, and edged after it's CNC'd. Then what we want to do, if we just come into here, is we want to change the material, so that this is also using material 2, and then save. We'll take this name and go to our tops, and we'll rename this one in here as a chest top. Paste in our part definition, and then we'll add in $chest underscore top underscore rad for our overhang to the front, and then to the left and right, let's do a 25mm overhang as well. Okay, this is looking good. Let's use this top that we've just created within an article designer element. So what I want to do now is go to designer, article designer, and drop in my product. And you can see at this stage it's just a 500 by 500 cube. I'll change my height to be 900 by 900 by 400. So I now have quite a big product. I'll add in my top and click on the button here to go to Element Manager, so that I can then choose it from the onset list I've just created. I'll add in the bottom, left, right, and back panel. We'll also add in a fixed shelf using the linear division of 2 to 1. And in the upper section, we can add in a partition using a linear division of 1 to 1. We can then take one side and add in an adjustable, a draw box. So we'll change that to be a variable in here. And what we want to do is then copy that and paste it onto the other side. And into the lower section, we can then edit that and split it into 2 drawers. This looks a lot better. We do need a base though, so let's go up to the top and add in that base. Okay, let's just check our top and ensure that this tick box is activated to pull through that radius front. I'll go to the top, front and side and change the overall dimensions, and you can see it's brought through our default variable material and finishes. So we need to change this because this isn't what I want at all. So what I'll do is go to an article related variable and start to make some changes. So if we open this up, we can go to the basic data, and in here what we can do is just set our surfaces to be surf 1 bottom and surf 1 top. We'll go to the carcass, and in carcass 1 we will choose a MDF raw and an oak veneer tape, oak veneer top and bottom surfaces for the carcass. In carcass 2 we'll do the same, but we'll actually beef up the material. Let's use a 28mm, and instead of using a veneer tape for the edging, we'll use a 25mm solid piece that will go around those curves, and then again we want to use those veneers top and bottom. Materials for the drawer, right now we've got back and bottom, and if we go to the construction, what we actually want to do is go to front control and change that drawer to be an underfloor guide. So let's change that to be an underfloor guide in there. And if we then change the fronts as well, let's do a solid shaker front, change the handles in here to be a knob. Let's choose that one down at the bottom. And then in here we've got our chest top radius. Let's just increase that to 45, I think. Or 50, I think would be better. And then we also want our connectors, so we want to change how this is constructed. We'll go from being a dowel construction to a lamello P system. Okay, our back, we only need a 3mm inset on there. So let's just have a little look at what this looks like now. We can click apply, and then the variables will update. So there's a couple of things to change. We need to change this material down at the bottom, so that's fine. We'll go to the article related variables again and go to the materials for the front and change the finish from lava to oak. The next thing that I want to do is increase my level of detail, so we'll go up to the top and go from a level 2 to a level 6. And now we have our profile detail in here. And I think the next thing that I want to do is maybe just change these draw boxes. So let's go to wireframe. You can see currently these are screwed together and we want something a little bit more sophisticated. So let's change those. If we go to the article related variables, we can click on them, go to the draw system, open this up, and then in here we'll choose a grooved draw system. That will refresh now and pull through our grooved draw system. We need to change our materials, so let's do that. And if we go to our draw box material now, you can see that we can choose 15mm solid wood as well. And when we do this, it will then add in our box construction. Let's change the overall variables, the overall fittings. So instead of the Cabino, let's go for a Clamex. And we'll swap from one to the other. And this isn't looking too bad now. Let's switch back into realistic view and have a look at the inside. Okay. We can of course make changes now, so I'll stretch my overall product width and say overall it should be 1200, and let's increase the height overall, let's say 1 meter high and maybe a little bit deeper. And this will then parametrically grow all of those parts to make that nice and big. Now if I want to, I can also modify the product and then go up to my initial split, and instead of saying 2:1, I can say 1 gap to let's say 200mm here, and we can see that that's made these bottom drawers a lot deeper. And if I click tick, that will reconfigure the design and update it. Okay, so next thing is to create some outputs. So what I want to do now is just create some drawings. So let's save the job and generate some drawings. Save order as chest. Save. And then in here we'll go to the automatic drawings and click. This will now generate an automatic view for the plan on the front, and then we can add to these if need be as well. So there's my plan view. And here's my front. Let's refresh these and increase my level of detail. I can then also add in some section details so we can see just how much information's been brought through. Okay. So as you can see, we've brought through and created a very unique looking piece of furniture, created all of the various alterations that are required, altered the overall size, materials, finishes of the drawer box, fittings that are used for the construction, and this is now production ready. Thanks for watching.